Slowly opening his eyes to another morning's snow, Jules shuffles through the dark rooms inside of Little Hope, unable to shake the hole he still felt festering inside of him. Following the pattern that now dominated his life, Jules longs to feel anything to distract him from his despair, pointing him back in the direction of Riverside once more. Though all that awaited him was danger and death, Jules couldn't stand another silent day atop his hill. Annoyingly only finding peace as he makes his first stop at the bait shop just outside town, Jules wastes no time in loading up his truck before plunging further down the main street. Deciding to fill his new ride to the brim with neglected books in need of rescue, Jules doesn't flinch as he faces down a handful of the mindless undead. Loading up a sizable collection along with 3 of the sturdy bookshelves, Jules is satisfied with his fresh acquisition and begins to explore the other stores nearby as the day turns wet and miserable. Discovering businesses still harboring infected creatures, the pit in Jules' soul is briefly forgotten as he raises up his crowbar and focuses in on the battle ahead. Propped up by adrenaline and the brief high of cleansing more real estate from the undead, Jules recognizes that none of the shops he had cleared held any value, and moves to investigate the ones further up the street. Stumbling across a grocery store at the corner of the main strip, Jules is suddenly faced with the reality of how far he'd come and just how much of his progress he had taken for granted. As he stuffs his bag full of cans, dried beans, and pasta, each large bundle of calories serves as a direct reminder of how desperate the starving survivor once was and how privileged he was now in his misery. Unloading his first haul into the truck, Jules recognizes the failing light, but can't bring himself to head towards Little Hope now, as a painful but essential source of stability stares him right in the face. Having filled several bags full of goods and pushing his truck to near bursting, Jules wears a rare smile as his tired body crawls into the driver's seat and sets off for home. Parking his truck in preparation for unloading in the morning, Jules drags himself to bed as his mind wrestles with the knowledge that his mental health posed just as much danger to his survival as the growling monsters that dominated this world. Firmly locked inside his own mind as he finds one of his traps shattered in the clearing, Jules turns his full attention to unloading the many treasures he had returned home with, while working through the solution to his current internal roadblock. Mostly completing his comfortable library and cramming the shelves with books until they sagged, Jules happily discovers the quickly diminishing space inside his cupboards as he squirrels away his valuable calories. Cooking up a hearty pasta supplemented by the protein from his birds, Jules flicks through the many new titles he had secured from the bookstore and finds that one has snagged itself inside his mind. Life is tremendous. Jules remembers scoffing at it when he tucked it into his bag in Riverside, but now the comical contrast of the title caused him to wonder if it had something to offer besides a cheap laugh. Finding himself fully entrenched in the pages as the light of the day fades, Jules stumbles across a quote that finally chips away at the hole inside his heart. Things don't go wrong and break your heart so you can become bitter and give up. They happen to break you down and build you up so you can be all that you were intended to be. Scarfing down the rest of his pasta as he mulls over the insightful words, Jules wonders if this was somehow a trial meant for him to overcome, to prove the inner strength that he held despite his previously meek existence. I relied on the strength and compassion of Marcus. I relied on desperation and starvation as winter loomed. I relied on a false love story to give me purpose when my direction was lost. It's time I stopped relying on the world, because the world has only provided me with disappointment. It's time I relied on myself and the man that's been exposed through these harsh trials. Jules.